Canderous Ordo, a Mandalorian warrior of unparalleled skill and unshakable resolve, played a pivotal role in the Mandalorian Wars, a conflict that shaped the galaxy and left scars that endured for generations. A loyal soldier of the Mandalorian clans, Canderous epitomized the ideals of his people: honor in battle, strength through conflict, and the relentless pursuit of glory. His journey through the Mandalorian Wars not only defined him as a warrior but also tied him inexorably to the fate of Revan, the Jedi Knight who would reshape the galaxy's destiny. Canderous's experiences during the war and his eventual alliance with Revan highlight his critical importance to both Mandalorian history and the broader events of galactic history. When the Mandalorian Wars began, Canderous was already a veteran warrior, fully committed to the Mandalorian way of life. The Mandalorians, a proud and militaristic culture, thrived on conquest and saw war as the ultimate test of strength and worthiness. Under the leadership of Mandalore the Ultimate, the Mandalorian clans launched an aggressive campaign against the Republic, seeking to prove their dominance in the galaxy. Canderous, as a trusted and capable leader, became one of the conflict's key figures, leading his forces in some of the war's most critical engagements. The Mandalorian Wars were characterized by their brutality, with the Mandalorians pushing the Republic to its limits. Canderous excelled in this chaos, his tactical genius and combat skills earning him respect and fear from friend and foe alike. His philosophy of war, shaped by the Mandalorian Code, was both practical and ruthless. To Canderous, victory was paramount, and he believed that strength and cunning were the only paths to achieving it. This perspective made him a formidable opponent, as he was willing to adapt and learn from each battle, constantly honing his skills and strategies. Despite his loyalty to the Mandalorian cause, Canderous was not blind to the flaws within his own people. The Mandalorian obsession with conquest, while central to their identity, often blinded them to the broader consequences of their actions. As the war dragged on, Canderous began to see cracks in the Mandalorian way of life. The relentless pursuit of glory, while noble in theory, often led to unnecessary suffering and loss. Canderous's reflections on the war's toll marked the beginning of his evolution as a character, setting the stage for his eventual transformation from a soldier of Mandalore to a loyal ally of Revan. Revan's role in the Mandalorian Wars was equally transformative. Initially a Jedi Knight, Revan defied the Jedi Council's orders to remain neutral in the conflict. Recognizing the existential threat posed by the Mandalorians, Revan and his closest companion, Malak, took up arms against them, rallying the Republic's forces and turning the tide of the war. Revan's tactical brilliance and unorthodox methods earned him the respect of soldiers and Jedi alike, but his approach to the war was not without controversy. Revan's willingness to embrace the darker aspects of war, including the use of overwhelming force and morally ambiguous strategies, foreshadowed his eventual fall to the dark side. Canderous and Revan's paths crossed during the later stages of the Mandalorian Wars, particularly in the aftermath of the Battle of Malachor V. This climactic engagement, which saw the activation of the mass shadow generator, resulted in the near-total destruction of the Mandalorian fleet and the death of Mandalore the Ultimate. While the battle marked the end of the Mandalorian Wars, it also left Canderous and his people shattered. The loss of Mandalore and the devastation of their forces plunged the Mandalorians into chaos, forcing them to abandon their dreams of conquest and retreat into obscurity. For Canderous, the aftermath of the war was a time of disillusionment and reflection. Stripped of the purpose that had defined him, he was left to grapple with the collapse of the Mandalorian way of life. In this dark period, Canderous's perspective on war and strength began to evolve. He came to see that the Mandalorians' obsession with conquest had blinded them to other paths of survival and growth. This realization, while painful, was also liberating, as it allowed Canderous to redefine his purpose and seek a new path forward. It was in this context that Canderous encountered Revan once again, years after the Mandalorian Wars had ended. By this time, Revan had undergone his own transformation, falling to the dark side, losing his memories, and being reborn as a servant of the Jedi. Despite the complexity of their shared history, Canderous found in Revan a kindred spirit, someone who understood the realities of war and shared his belief in the importance of strength and resilience. This bond, forged through mutual respect and shared experience, became the foundation of their alliance. Candorus's role in Revan's journey was multifaceted. As a loyal companion, Candorus brought not only his combat prowess, but also his strategic insight and unshakable loyalty. He became one of Revan's most trusted allies, standing by him through the trials and tribulations that followed. Candorus's Mandalorian heritage and perspective on war added depth to Revan's mission, challenging the Jedi Knight to consider the complexities of power, honor, and redemption. In many ways, Candorus served as a counterbalance to Revan, grounding him in the realities of conflict, while also pushing him to see beyond the immediate goals of their quest. One of the most significant aspects of Candorus's relationship with Revan was his role in the restoration of Mandalorian pride and identity. Revan, understanding the value of the Mandalorians as allies, encouraged Candorus to embrace his heritage and seek to rebuild his people. This support was instrumental in Candorus's decision to take up the mantle of Mandalore, uniting the scattered remnants of the Mandalorian clans and setting them on a path of renewal. Candorus's leadership as Mandalore the Preserver was a testament to his growth as a character, as he sought to guide his people toward a future that honored their traditions while avoiding the mistakes of the past. Candorus Ordo's story, intertwined with the Mandalorian Wars and his alliance with Revan, is one of transformation and redemption. From a fierce warrior driven by the ideals of conquest to a loyal companion and leader, Candorus's journey reflects the complexities of the Mandalorian way of life and the enduring impact of war on individuals and cultures. His relationship with Revan, built on mutual respect and shared understanding, highlights the importance of perspective and growth in navigating the challenges of the galaxy. Candorus Ordo's relationship with Revan evolved into one of the most crucial partnerships of its time, as their complementary strengths and philosophies drove their shared quest for redemption, survival, and renewal. Revan, a figure who operated on a grand scale, sought to unite disparate factions in service of a larger goal. Candorus, by contrast, offered a grounded perspective, a warrior's insight forged in the fires of countless battles. Together, they formed a partnership that transcended their respective origins, with Candorus playing a critical role not just as an ally in battle, but as a reminder of the consequences and lessons of the Mandalorian Wars. As Candorus accompanied Revan on the search for the Star Forge and later into the unknown regions, his presence served as a bridge between the Mandalorian past and the uncertain future of the galaxy. Candorus carried the weight of his people's history, a history defined by both their triumphs and their devastating defeats. Revan, understanding this burden, saw in Candorus an opportunity to preserve the Mandalorian legacy in a way that avoided the mistakes of the past. By guiding Candorus to reclaim the title of Mandalore and rebuild the Mandalorian clans, Revan ensured that the Mandalorians would endure as a people, even if their methods and philosophies had to evolve. Candorus's journey to become Mandalore the Preserver was one of the most significant chapters of his life. Taking up the title was not merely a matter of claiming leadership. It was an act of reconciliation and renewal. Candorus had witnessed the heights of Mandalorian power and its catastrophic fall, and he understood better than anyone the dangers of unchecked ambition and blind adherence to tradition. As Mandalore, he sought to guide his people toward a future that balanced their warrior ethos with a more sustainable vision for survival. His leadership marked a turning point for the Mandalorians, offering them a chance to reclaim their honor without repeating the mistakes that had led to their near destruction. Revan's influence on Candorus's transformation into Mandalore was profound. Revan, who had himself undergone a journey of self-discovery and redemption, encouraged Candorus to see the value in adapting to change. While Revan understood and respected the Mandalorian warrior culture, he also recognized the need for it to evolve in order to survive in a galaxy that had been irrevocably changed by the wars. This perspective resonated with Candorus, who had already begun to question the dogmatic pursuit of conquest that had defined his people. With Revan's guidance, Candorus embraced the challenge of leading his people toward a new era, one that honored their traditions while allowing for growth and adaptation. The bond between Revan and Candorus was rooted in mutual respect and shared understanding, but it also reflected their complementary strengths. Revan's strategic brilliance and vision for the galaxy provided the framework for their mission, while Candorus's practical knowledge and combat expertise ensured its success. Together, they faced challenges that required both cunning and strength, from navigating the dangers of the unknown regions to confronting the lingering threats posed by the Sith. Through it all, Canderous remained steadfast, his loyalty to Revan unwavering even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Canderous's importance to Revan extended beyond their shared missions and battles. As a character, Canderous represented the enduring legacy of the Mandalorian Wars and the lessons that could be drawn from them. His reflections on the war, his observations on the nature of strength and honor, and his willingness to adapt to new circumstances all served to challenge and refine Revan's own perspective. In this way, Canderous was not just a companion or ally, but a vital influence on Revan's journey toward redemption and self-realization. At the same time, Revan's impact on Canderous cannot be overstated. Through their partnership, Canderous found a new sense of purpose and a path forward for his people. Revan's belief in the potential for renewal and growth inspired Canderous to embrace his role as Mandalore, transforming him from a disillusioned warrior into a leader capable of guiding the Mandalorians toward a brighter future. This transformation was not without its challenges, but it ultimately marked one of the most significant turning points in Mandalorian history. Canderous Ordo's story, intertwined with the Mandalorian Wars and his alliance with Revan, stands as a testament to the power of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring bonds of respect and loyalty. His journey from a soldier of Mandalore to a trusted companion and leader of his people reflects the complexities of his character and the broader themes of honor, redemption, and renewal that define the Star Wars saga. Through his actions and his partnership with Revan, Canderous played a pivotal role in shaping the galaxy's destiny, ensuring that the lessons of the past were not forgotten and that the future remained full of possibility.